This, my friends, is the system that changed my life. This is the system I started to follow 10 years ago. Wasn't sexy at the time, but I just started to do the steps and do the work and implement the habits and the daily routines.
Welcome to the Think Media podcast. My name is Heather Torres, the host of this show, and here we want to help you grow your influence on YouTube and then turn that influence into a high impact and a high income online business. And today I'm excited because we're going to be breaking down our 7-step system for success on YouTube. Now, if you were not tuned in to our last episode, that was part 1 of this 2-part series. And I really recommend that you listen to that one first. So maybe go back, listen, and then come back to this episode. But if you're already caught up and ready to go, then you are in the right place. So make sure you have a pen and paper ready because we're diving into how to help you get fierce clarity on this next season for you in your YouTube journey and really in your whole online business. So lean in. It's time to get into the second part of this keynote from Sean Cannell.
So I asked this question in light of these 4 trends. Ultimately, there's so much opportunity. It's a real gold rush. People are crushing it. But what's the difference between those that are crushing it and thriving and those that are struggling ultimately online? And what I found out that there's multiple different ways you could solve a problem. We got problems. How am I going to create all this content? We got problems. How am I going to, start making videos when I got other stuff to do in my life? I got maybe work. I got kids. We got problems. And when it comes to solving problems, there's some good solutions. Some solutions are not as good or bad, and some solutions are absolutely terrible, right? Just because we have a problem, people approach it different ways. So we need to figure out what's the best way to really crush it with online video. But the truth is, the reason a lot are struggling is because they're going about it the wrong way. And so I actually want to look at a couple different ways to solve problems, and you tell me if it's a good idea or a terrible idea. Here's one. This is the clothes hanger muffler fix. I mean, that's a way to solve the problem, ultimately, right? I mean, I don't know, that's one. How about the duct tape drink holder? Genius. I mean, it looks like it's working. It maybe solves the problem of holding your drink, but it doesn't solve the problem of impressing your date. I don't know. I mean, how about the duct tape hammock? Would you trust that? Would you trust that? How about the wife beater baby carrier? This is a great idea. I got another boy on the way, and that's smart. That's great. How about the fan leaf blower? There's different ways to solve problems. I mean, this is a conference about innovation. You got to get creative, right? What about the $2 spoiler? Here's one. This is the flat screen TV installation. This is a way to solve the problem. I mean, all you got to do, easy, right? The funny thing is Gen Zers in the room, they don't even know, why is the TV that big? I grew up, I had this Sony Wega flat screen but glass TV. It weighed 2,000 pounds. It was 27 inches. You remember that? You carry it, you break it, it's done. It just absolutely shatters, right? And so here's the thing. I've stumbled now over the years on a better way to get consistent results with video. We all kind of have the same problems, honestly. We're trying to figure out how to create content, but some are going to solve them well and some not as well. And honestly, what I've discovered is not just a better way to get consistent results in life and video, but this will apply to business and life. And I found it in this book called Atomic Habits. Anybody read this book? Man, great book. And here's the big aha moment for me. That those who struggle, they focus on goals. But those who win, they focus on systems. They focus on systems. I'll come back to that, but listen. See, your goal is a desired income, but your system is the collection of daily habits that'll get you there. All right? And so, ultimately, the problem with goals is this. Problem number 1 is that winners and losers both have goals. If you think about it. I can imagine maybe some of our goals in this room. What's your goal in this room? Oh, I want to get 1 million subscribers. I want to get that silver play button. Yo, I want to get Gary Vee on my podcast, right? We have the same goals. Well, goals are good, but winners and losers have the same goals. But when you have a system is the habits and the routines and the things we're going to learn at this conference that gets you to the goal. Like a goal is good, but a system is better. The thing too with a goal is a momentary change. And here's some good news and kind of some bad news about online video. I'm not asking you to just do like one thing for a little while, like get some subscribers, and then you can focus on the next thing. This has to become a lifestyle. This is the new world. The new world is you got to embrace content creation. You got to find a way to incorporate it in your daily routines. If you're looking like, I'm going to do a little video sprint and then just let the results happen. No, this is a way of life, of online marketing, of building your business, of getting comfortable on camera, of creating content consistently. That's why we need a system. And that might sound overwhelming, but the system actually will reduce stress and will reduce overwhelm. Here's problem 3 with goals, is they actually are at odds with long-term progress. If you're too preoccupied with goals, it's just pie in the sky. But if we actually just look at the simple, small steps and work the system, then one day we look up and all of a sudden it's like, dang, dude, man, we're throwing a conference and some people actually showed up. Because honestly, for me, I've just been working the system. And James Clear said this, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. See, friend, the secret is the system. The secret is the system. If you want to kill overwhelm and create profitable content in less time, you need a system. If you want to eliminate time wasters, we're not just here to just make a bunch of videos like you don't have other things to do. We're not just here to just spend all of our time online so you have no time with your family. We're here to create a system and create routines and habits of content creation that lead us to our financial goals and our legacy goals and our family goals. You need a system. This, my friends, is the system that changed my life. This is the system I started to follow 10 years ago. Wasn't sexy at the time, but I just started to do the steps and do the work and implement the habits and the daily routines and video after video, upload after upload. It was 10 subscribers, 7 views. You gotta respect that 7-view life. You know? You gotta respect that upload. It took you 7 hours to edit the video, and you got 7 views. And you're like, I don't know if this is worth my time. But it kind of sounds like for me, last time I went to the gym for an hour, which I haven't been to the gym for an hour in a really long time. Therefore, I haven't been getting the results. That when you first go, like the results don't show up immediately, but as you start working the system, today, Think Media, 2 million subscribers, we've just been working the system. Today, thousands of our students are succeeding just working the system.
Well, I hope you are enjoying today's session. And I wanted to let you know that if you are loving content like this, then you definitely need to go to 21videotips.com, where you can actually get 21 more video marketing tips just like this from industry experts like Patrick Bet-David, Vanessa Lau, Pat Flynn, and Alex Hermosi, and so many amazing video marketers of our day. They're sharing their best kept business building secrets inside of this masterclass and free downloadable guide. So just head over to 21videotips.com to get instant access for free and learn how you can level up your business and brand. That's 21videotips.com. Now let's get back into today's content.
The first step is reverse engineer. You got to start with the end in mind. I'm going to go fast. We will keep hitting it throughout the conference. Reverse engineer, start with the end in mind. Who's your channel actually for? Like, what are you even doing? Like, what is the vision and the goal of your channel? Then we do research. What's trending in my niche right now? What's trending in real estate? What's trending in personal finance? What's trending in coaching? What is on people's mind? What's trending in culture or keyword research? We get clear that we're actually making the right videos. Then we've got to record the video, and we want to record a video that's going to keep people's attention. Then you got to release the video the right way. And here's what I learned. This system, I started out on YouTube, but I was like, wow, this system actually is the same for social media, all the platforms. Start with the end in mind. Get clear on what your video idea is. Record a great video. Release it the right way. Does that include hashtags? How's it titled? Does it have a compelling reason to click? Thumbnail? What's the first few seconds? What's the frame? Like, is it released in the right way according to the best practices of the platform? Then rock it. Rocket your video to success. So for every video, the daily discipline, the habit, the weekly discipline is ultimately rocket the video, share it out on social media, post that video on your community tab. Can you get someone to collaborate with on that video? You got an email list? Send it to your email list. Then review. Sometimes this isn't the funnest part, but it's probably the most important part because what gets measured gets improved. This is where when you get obsessed with analytics, you get obsessed with your insights, you get obsessed with looking at your Facebook page insights and studying what worked so you can get 1% better with every upload and improve next time. And then it's about repurpose and repeat. Now it's about thinking about, okay, I made this video, but how can I actually use this potentially in multiple places? And how can I begin again more intelligently next time I upload content? And so we're going to kick it off today just by starting with reverse engineer, which is start with the end in mind. Best practice in anything is before you start to think about where do you want to go. Now, honestly, on reverse engineer, here's a couple questions. It's like, who am I trying to reach online? What problem does my content and business solve? And how am I going to make money? And I know I'm going fast, but that's actually not what I want to talk about with reverse engineer. I actually want to take it a little bit deeper and ask this question. What do you want? Like, what do you want? Well, Sean, that's what do you mean? So kind of, what do you want? For lunch? For my birthday? I mean, since you're asking, I mean, maybe a new car? I mean, no. I mean, like, what do you want? And I want you to actually journal a little bit right now and write down some things. What do you want? The funny thing in this hyper world of social media and online video growth and kind of like looking at what everybody else is doing, sometimes we start to mirror what we see online and we don't even know why we're doing it. Like, we're just like, I don't know, I'm just trying to grow, I'm trying to get subscribers. Why? I don't know, I'm trying to do what Gary Vee told me to do. That's great, but like, why? Like, what do you want? Start writing it down, deeper stuff. Like, what do you want in life? And how can online video help you get there? Can we go deep? And I would love if we could journal a little bit. Like, what do you want in your business? Like, what's the clear end destination that you want to reach so that we can reverse engineer a plan backward to get there? And I remember when I felt the full impact of this question back in 2009 when my wife almost died. She was in the hospital for 6 days, recovering from almost a fatal accident when she had a feeding tube from having a chronic illness. And ultimately, it was placed wrong, so the liquid started to fill up her body cavity, which will suffocate your organs and it'll kill you quick. So we rushed her to the hospital, and I found myself by my wife's side for 6 days, really thinking about some heavy questions, battling fear, battling depression. And here's the crazy thing about 2009, was that at this exact same time, we're getting crushed by the Big Short and the economic crash and the recession. We're losing our home. We're losing a rental property. And I was part-time staff at a church, and some senior leaders stole some money, and there was a toxic leadership culture, and the whole thing started to fall apart. So now I find myself by my wife's side in that hospital room, and I literally actually felt God asking me a question like, what do you want? Like, because I actually learned what psychologists say. I came to a moment where I started to think about a lot deeper life questions. Psychologists call it mortality motivation. And friend, I actually want to encourage you, in the last 2 years, the whole world has been given this gift. Because in the last 2 years, we started to think like, dude, we might die. Well, actually, here's the truth. We are going to die, right? And so I started to have this question of like, man, what do I want? And I'll be honest with you, like the Sean I was in that hospital room obviously was not the Sean I am standing on this stage today. I wasn't super pumped about the man I was. I was allowing my wife, who was sick, to work multiple jobs. I was insecure because I didn't know how to make money and take care of my family. And I was scared. And so I honestly felt God asking me this question, like, Sean, like, what do you want? And all of a sudden, my perspective was different. It was like, man, I want a way to work from home. Like, I want to love my wife better. I want to be a better leader than the example of some of the leaders that had let me down. Like, I want to figure this thing out. Like, I don't know how, but I want to be around people that are going to inspire me and they're going to be visionary and that are going to be faith-filled. Like, I want to be a better man. I want to impact people. I want to teach. I want to make a difference. I want to make memories with my wife because I don't know that if we'll ever see tomorrow. All we ever have is today. And man, this happened so young in our life. We got married at 21. She got sick at 23. We're in the hospital. We're 27-year-olds. And we're having these kind of questions like, man, what do we really want? What are we going to do? And here's what's surprising. If you ask a lot of leaders, like, what do you actually want? They can't give you a clear answer. I don't blame you because not a lot of times do we think this deeply, right? Like, where are you going? Where do you want to go? And here's what I want to ask you. Like, what do you ultimately want? Reverse engineer. What do you want for your family? What do you want for your business? What kind of impact do you want to make on this world? Let me ask you this. Who do you want to be? Seriously, like future cast, like who do you want to be? Reverse engineer. Let me ask you this. Who do you need to become in order to reach that vision that you have? Because the Sean that was in that hospital room was not there yet, and I had to change some things, get some help, get some coaching. I had to go through a process. Who do you need to be? But there's a second question as we land the plane that we have to answer, and it's, what do you have? What do you have? And I felt like those are the two questions, because as I'm sitting in this hospital room and I start thinking about what do I want, then it's like God's asking me, like, what do you have? And I've noticed that there's 3 ways to answer this question, and 2 of them are not very helpful. The first way you can answer this question, the question is not, what do you not have? Right? What do you have? And you go, well, Sean, I don't have much money. Okay. No, like, what do you have? Well, I don't have a fancy camera. If I had a fancy camera, like, okay, I mean, chill. But like, what do you have? Well, I don't have a time. I don't got a team. Well, and no, the question is not what do you not have, right? The question is what do you have? And I want you to brainstorm, because here's the truth. It is not about your resources. It is about your resourcefulness. But here's the second way you can answer the question. It's not what do you have that sucks, right? Well, I'll tell you what I have. I got a bunch of debt. Cool. All right. I mean, Well, I'll tell you what I have. I actually do have some employees, and they suck. If I had some good ones. What do you have? Some single people are like, well, I don't have a spouse yet. Some married people are like, well, I do got a spouse, and they suck. Too real? This is called the grass is greener mentality, right? And I've learned this. The grass is not greener, though, on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So what do you have? Imagination. That's right. You got it. What else? Your voice. What else? Knowledge. Creativity. A message. An iPhone. That's right. Yeah. What do you have? You got the ability to learn. Come on, you have the tenacity to never quit. What do you have? I want you to write that down, because reverse engineer is about auditing your resources. How am I going to use what I have today, be faithful with what I have today, so that I can ultimately step into what God has for me tomorrow and the future of my business.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed this two-part series, and I would love to know what your aha moment was if you are watching over on YouTube, or if you want to rate and review this show, you can do that over on Apple Podcasts, and let us know if you like content like this. And if you have not already been to 21videotips.com, I highly recommend that be the next place you go after listening to this episode. If you want to be learning some of the latest little-known secrets in video marketing from experts like Alex Hormozi, Patrick Bet-David, Vanessa Lau, and so many more, then you want to make sure that you go to 21videotips.com for our brand new free resource for you. There's a masterclass as well as a downloadable guide to help walk you through some of the secrets that have never been shared before. Well, thank you so much for being a part of what we're doing here at Think Media. We have so many great episodes in store for you, so make sure you stay locked here for every single Tuesday's drop, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye.